Shalom, welcome to Rabbi Ron in the house. Hey, I'm reading the book of Joshua, loving it, loving God's word. Reading here, Joshua led the children of Israel through the Jordan River, parted the river there, just like Moses did with the Red Sea. And then, after the Israelites got through, he sat there and he selected 12 leaders, one from each of the tribes of Israel, said, go back into the middle of the river. Now this is still while the walls are up there, while the river's parted and there's dry ground. Go back in the middle and grab some stones there from the middle. And then bring them out here onto the land on this side of the Jordan River. And they brought them out and they said, put them together in a heap, in a big pile, and let there be a pile of these 12 stones. And so this way what will happen is your children will come up in the future and say, what does this mean? Why are these rocks here in a pile? What is it about? And you'll say, oh, I'm so glad you asked. Let me tell you what God did. At the end of that chapter it says you're to do this so that people would hear how powerful God is and begin to fear, revere Him themselves. And so I want to encourage you, we need to follow this example here. Joshua, this wasn't a one-time deal. He did this, and the children of Israel did this at times. When God did amazing stuff, they set up a memorial, something that would get people's attention. They'd see this and say, gee, what does this mean? And they could always respond, I'm so glad you asked. Thanks for asking. Let me tell you, what does it mean? That's what we need to do. We need to draw people's attention to the things that God has done so we can tell them how powerful He is, and that all people will begin to revere and fear and worship Him. And so I want to encourage you to do that. Don't give in to the threats of the world, separation of church and state. Be wise there and innocent, and so don't just do anything stupid and get yourself in lots of trouble, but you need to testify of the Lord. And you need to do it in a way that's going to get people's attention, that they'll stop and ask, well, what does this mean? If it's boring, they'll just ignore it and walk away. So you could set up some great monument, but if it's boring, no one will pay any attention to it. So there needs to be something. You set up a memorial to something that demonstrates the power of God, the love of God, so that then people will stop and have to ask, what does it mean? And you will have the opportunity to testify and tell them how good, how powerful, how loving God is. I want to encourage you to do that. And so I don't know, throwing a pile of rocks on top of one another, we'll do it today, but you need to think about things. And listen, if you've got an idea, I'd love to hear from you. How can we testify? Get in that comment section, drop us a note, share your ideas with us. How can we testify to people about the power and the love of God in a way that would get their attention and cause them to say, I gotta know, I gotta ask, I just gotta know what's going on. We want to hear from you so we can help each other to do this. And so thanks for joining me today. This is Rabbi Ron in the house.